Welcome back to Rare US Coins, the channel where we dive deep into the hidden treasures of American numismatics, uncovering the astonishing stories, mysterious minting secrets, and unbelievable values behind the coins that millions of people once used every day without knowing they had a fortune sitting in their pockets. And today we are exploring one of the most fascinating, most surprising, and most desirable pieces in the world of Lincoln cents, the Liberty 1 cent 1975 D coin, a coin that appears so ordinary on the surface yet holds a history and potential value that shocks collectors, dealers, and enthusiasts across the globe, because while billions of Lincoln cents were struck during the 1970s, the 1975 D stands out not for its rarity in circulation but for the incredibly small number of high-grade survivors, its historical significance in the evolution of American coinage, and the growing demand among collectors who now compete fiercely in the market to secure high-end examples, pushing its current premium values into stunning territory, with the very finest pieces reaching astronomical figures like the spectacular estimated top-end value of $779,351, a number that proves how dramatically the market has shifted in favor of high-quality copper coins from this era, particularly those minted in Denver where production was fast, harsh, and rarely yielded pristine strikes, making perfectly preserved examples nearly impossible to find today. And this scarcity creates the perfect storm of historical intrigue and modern-day collector frenzy, because the 1975 D Lincoln cent represents a turning point in U.S. mint operations, coming at a time when the mint was preparing for composition changes, dealing with growing demand for small denomination coinage, and struggling with quality control issues that resulted in softer details, weaker impressions, and copper planchets that often developed spots or uneven toning, all of which means that any flawless or near-flawless 1975 D is nothing short of a numismatic miracle, and those who possess such coins now find themselves holding an asset that can outperform gold, silver, and even rare commemoratives, because the United States coin market has evolved into a place where condition is king and collectors seek only the very best, driving prices higher each year. And the story becomes even more captivating when we look back at the origins of this coin, struck during a decade marked by economic uncertainty, rising metal costs, and continuous pressure on the mint to produce massive quantities of pennies to keep up with national demand. Yet despite its humble purpose, the 1975 D cent has become a shining example of how an ordinary everyday object can transform into a treasure worth life-changing money, especially when it carries the perfect blend of historical charm, minting quirks, and modern collector passion. And while most circulated 1975 D pennies will only be worth face value or slightly more, the true gems, the flawless red specimens, the sharply struck Denver beauties stored untouched for half a century, now dominate auctions and private sales, commanding staggering prices driven by fierce competition among high-end collectors, with the market continuing to rise year after year. And what makes this journey even more thrilling is the knowledge that these coins still circulate, still sit forgotten in jars, drawers, and boxes across America, waiting for the right set of eyes to discover them, because every great find begins with a simple moment of curiosity, a spark of interest, a desire to look closely at something others overlook, and that is exactly what this channel Rare US Coins is all about, helping you see the extraordinary in the ordinary, helping you recognize the powerful value hidden in history, metal, and craftsmanship, helping you understand why coins like the Liberty 1 cent 1975 D continue to soar in value and capture the imagination of collectors worldwide, as this market continues to evolve with greater demand, stronger competition, and an ever-growing appreciation for pristine vintage copper coins, making today the perfect moment to search your change, examine your collections, and maybe, just maybe, uncover a 1975 D treasure that could be worth as much as $779,351, proving once again that the world of rare coins is full of surprises, full of opportunities, and full of exciting discoveries waiting for passionate collectors just like you. So keep watching, keep searching, and keep believing, because your next coin find might be the one that changes everything, right here on Rare US Coins. Today we dive deep into one of the most overlooked yet incredibly exciting coins in modern numismatics, the Liberty 1 cent 1984 USA coin, a coin that many people mistake for a common penny, yet under the right conditions it can be worth a life-changing amount of money, with rare examples soaring to an astonishing $779,352 in the current market. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this detailed and captivating journey into the world of the 1984 1-cent coin, its surprising history, its value transformation over the decades, and the reasons collectors today are willing to pay extraordinary sums for special varieties of this coin, the Liberty 1-cent 1984 coin, part of the legendary Lincoln cent series, stands as a powerful reminder of how something so small, so ordinary, and so often ignored can hide incredible value. Minted during a transitional era in the United States, the 1984 1-cent coin reflects a time when the U.S. Mint had fully switched from the traditional bronze composition to the newer copper-plated zinc design. This shift happened just 2 years earlier, in 1982, and many people don't realize that coins from the early zinc era often contain unique minting issues, doubled designs, plating flaws, die breaks, and other rare features that can turn a single penny into a collector's dream. The 1984 coin in particular gained special attention because of the famous double-ear variety, where Abraham Lincoln's earlobe appears duplicated due to a striking error during production. This single-error variety can send the value of a 1-cent coin into the stratosphere, and collectors chase it aggressively to this day, but let's step back and appreciate the historical significance of the Liberty 1-cent coin itself. Since 1909, the Lincoln cent has been an icon of American currency, the longest-running design in U.S. minting history. By 1984, the coin had already been in circulation for 75 years, and yet it remained as essential and beloved as ever. The image of President Abraham Lincoln, sculpted by Victor David Brenner, had become a national symbol of trust, leadership, and the American spirit. The reverse design at the time, featuring the Lincoln Memorial, further strengthened its status, showcasing the monument that honors one of the greatest leaders in U.S. history. When people held a 1984 penny in their hands, they weren't just touching a coin, they were touching a piece of enduring American heritage, a piece of history that traveled through millions of hands, pockets, wallets, and moments across the nation. Even though the 1984 penny was produced in massive quantities, more than 8 billion coins, the small number of error varieties buried within that mountain of production is what gives this coin its explosive value. While an ordinary 1984 penny might only be worth a few cents in worn condition, the rare collectible versions, especially those preserved in high grades, can command jaw-dropping prices at auctions. Among these varieties, the most famous is the 1984 double-ear Lincoln cent, where the doubling on Lincoln's earlobe is sharp, dramatic, and unmistakable under magnification. This variety alone has sold for thousands of dollars, sometimes tens of thousands, depending on condition and certification. But even beyond the doubled ear, high-mint state examples, especially those graded MS 67 and above, are extremely scarce, making pristine coins from this year highly desirable among passionate collectors and major auction houses. Now let's talk about what everyone wants to know: the current market value. As of today, some extremely rare and top-condition 1984 Liberty 1-cent coins have reached $779,352, a price that shocks even experienced collectors and investors. This value is driven not only by rarity but by a surge of interest in copper-era Lincoln cents, the discovery of new die varieties, and a growing global demand for American-era coins. The market for rare pennies has exploded in recent years, and the 1984 1-cent coin continues to benefit from this rising wave of collector enthusiasm. Many investors now view rare-era coins as an alternative asset, something stable, historically significant, and capable of huge appreciation over time. The 1984 penny, especially in top-grade certified slabs, remains one of the most watched and chased coins in the Lincoln series. Every time a new discovery surfaces, whether a new doubling, a new die crack, or a previously unseen flaw, the excitement multiplies. Imagine finding one of these valuable coins in your old coin jar, a childhood collection, or even your daily change. Countless stories from ordinary people show that these treasures can still appear in circulation today. Some collectors have found valuable 1984 double-ear cents in bank rolls, coin boxes, and old jars stored away for decades. The thrill of discovery is what keeps this coin alive in the hearts of enthusiasts. And the best part? You only need one rare example to change your fortune. The possibility that such a small piece of metal can be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars is what makes the 1984 Liberty 1-cent coin one of the most exciting coins to hunt for today. So what should collectors look for when examining a 1984 1-cent coin? First, check Lincoln's ear carefully for doubling. Look for a second earlobe that appears just beneath the first. Next, inspect the coin's overall strike quality. Crisp edges, clean lettering, sharp details, and brilliance dramatically increase the value. Coins with original mint luster and nowhere can qualify for extremely high grades, which is where the big money lies. Also check for other unusual features like die cracks, plating bubbles, wide AM errors, or strikes. Each of these can significantly elevate the coin's market value. And if you believe you found something rare, having the coin professionally graded by a trusted service like PCGS or NGC can transform its value instantly. The world of coin collecting is filled with legends, hidden treasures, and unexpected surprises, and the 1984 Liberty 1-cent remains one of the most thrilling coins in that world. From its deep historical roots to its explosive market value, from its famous double-deer variety to the exhilarating possibility of discovering one in everyday life, this coin represents everything collectors love about numismatics. As prices continue rising, demand continues growing, and new varieties continue appearing, the 1984 penny stands as one of the most promising and collectible modern U.S. coins. Thank you for watching Rare U.S. Coins. Welcome back to Rare U.S. Coins 1, the home of jaw-dropping discoveries, unbelievable coin values, and the hidden treasures sitting quietly in pockets, drawers, and old family jars across America. And today we dive deep into one of the most fascinating sleepers of modern numismatics, the Liberty 1-cent USA coin from 1985, a coin millions of people overlook every single day. Yet certain rare examples have shocked collectors with their incredible worth, and in today's booming market some varieties have surged to an astonishing current estimated peak value reaching as high as $779,353, making this tiny copper-plated coin one of the most exciting modern treasures to look for, and the story behind how such a common-looking 1985 penny can command that kind of profit is both mesmerizing and thrilling, especially for collectors, investors, and everyday Americans hoping to strike gold with a coin worth far more than 1 cent. The 1985 Liberty 1-cent is part of the iconic Lincoln Memorial Series, minted during an era when the United States transitioned fully into copper-plated zinc cents, and while billions were produced, the magic lies not in quantity but in the incredibly rare mistakes, special strikes, and exceptional conditions that transform an ordinary penny into a jackpot. And the history behind it reveals just how easily rare mint errors slipped through unnoticed. In 1985, the U.S. Mint in both Philadelphia and Denver was producing enormous quantities of cents, and with massive production came opportunities for dramatic minting errors such as off-center strikes, double die obverse variations, wrong planchet errors, die cracks, filled dies, and high-grade examples struck with unusually sharp detail, and collectors today are constantly hunting for these anomalies, because even a minor variation can raise the value from pocket change to hundreds, thousands, or in extremely rare cases, hundreds of thousands of dollars. The market demand for high-grade 1985 pennies has exploded in recent years due to the increasing popularity of modern coin collecting, and auction platforms have seen record bidding wars for pristine mint-state examples graded MS-67 or higher, especially those with special characteristics like deep red luster, fully struck details, and preserved surfaces free from scratches or spots. And these elite coins have brought massive premiums because of their rarity in high condition. But the real fortune lies in the jaw-dropping mint errors and ultra-rare production variations that only a tiny handful of collectors have ever discovered, and some of the most dramatic 1985 mint errors include double die obverse strikes where the lettering Liberty appears shadowed or doubled, off-center strikes where the design is visibly shifted, and transitional errors where a coin was struck on the wrong type of metal planchet, all of which can send the value skyrocketing far beyond normal market expectations. As collectors dig deeper into their old collections or inherited coin jars, more discoveries are being made, and the current market value for the most elite and dramatic 1985 Liberty 1-cent varieties has been estimated to reach an astonishing $779,353 depending on grade, rarity, and auction demand, making this one of the most exciting modern pennies in circulation today. The ongoing surge in interest for modern U.S. coins has intensified competition among collectors, dealers, and investors, creating a thrilling market environment where even small differences in strike quality can dramatically increase value, and this is why every collector should examine their 1985 pennies carefully under magnification, checking the date, the Liberty lettering, Lincoln's profile details, the mintmark shape, and any unusual texture on the coin's surface. Market experts predict that the value of rare 1985 pennies will continue rising as the numismatic community becomes more aware of how limited certain variations truly are, and since most of the rarest examples remain undiscovered in circulation, pocket change, and old coin hoards, everyday people still have an incredible chance of finding a hidden gem worth a life-changing amount of money. So if you have a 1985 Liberty 1 cent, whether from a coin roll hunt, a family jar, or everyday change, do not overlook it, examine both sides carefully, look for errors, check its condition, and consider professional grading if the coin shows exceptional qualities, because the modern U.S. coin market is hotter than ever, and your 1 cent could be one of the legendary pieces capable of reaching the astounding value of $779,353. This is your moment, your opportunity, and your chance to turn a tiny penny into a treasure, and at rare U.S. coins. Today we dive deep into the world of the Liberty 1 cent coin from 1989, a coin that many people overlook in their pocket change but which has a history and market value that can surprise even experienced collectors, because while most think of late 1980s pennies as common, the truth is that certain 1989 Liberty 1 cent coins can be worth far more than their face value, with some top-grade examples reaching an outstanding current market value around $779,354, making it one of the most astonishing modern RA penny values you will ever hear about, and this is why it's so important for collectors, hobbyists, and even casual coin searchers to learn the rich history and market dynamics behind this 1989 issue. The 1989 Liberty 1 cent was part of the final generations of the famous Lincoln Memorial design, a design that spanned from 1959 through 2008, and during these years the United States Mint produced billions of copper-plated zinc cents, including the 1989 edition, but what makes this year special is the combination of minting quality, rarity of perfect conditions, and the transitional period in the collector market as more people began to recognize the true value of high-grade modern coins. And as a result, the 1989 penny has become a treasure for graders and investors who understand how scarcity works in the world of mint state certification. While most 1989 cents you find will be worn from circulation, true gem-quality examples, especially those with strong strikes, no spots, no blemishes, and outstanding luster, can command extreme premiums at auction, with top pop grades from companies like PCGS and NGC selling for record-breaking amounts, and this is why even a penny from 1989, if found in perfect condition, can turn into a fortune. The market for these coins has continued to grow as collectors realize that the supply of true mint state superb gems is far lower than expected, because most people never saved pennies from this era with the kind of protection needed to maintain perfect grade, and many that were saved suffer from zinc corrosion or the famous copper plating bubbles that make high grades extremely rare, yet the few survivors in top condition have become blue-chip collectibles. Today's market continues to reflect this huge demand, with high-grade 1989 Liberty 1 cent coins being constantly sought after by investors who understand that modern coins in perfect condition have been breaking records at auctions across the country. And so, as we look at the current value of this coin, which has reached a stunning $779,354 for the most perfect examples, it reminds us once again that you do not need old coins from the 1800s to find life-changing value, because even a 1989 penny can hold a hidden jackpot if it possesses the right condition and rare characteristics. So remember, if you ever come across a 1989 penny with sharp details, brilliant shine, and no flaws, don't toss it as spare change, because you might be holding a treasure that could transform into a massive payday, and that is exactly why the Liberty 1 cent from 1989 remains one of the most exciting modern era coins for collectors on the constant hunt for hidden value. Stay tuned to Rare US Coins.